Hebrews 7:1. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High, our power, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BaHaShem, YAHAWASHI'S, BaHaShem Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Israel that rule well. Shalom to the Akim, Akwathium, and the speckled bird listening and learning. Shalom. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High, our power, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him. Going into Hebrews, the 7th chapter, and the order of Melchizedek and the changing of the priesthood from the Levitical priesthood to opening it up to the men, okay, the men of the 12 tribes of Israel. The priesthood was going to be opened up by YAHAWASHI, okay, or this was the order given by Melchizedek. If you understand through the Spirit that Adam came as Melchizedek, Melchizedek came as Isaac, Isaac came as Solomon, and Solomon came as back as YAHAWASHI. Okay, because the scriptures tell you in the book of Daniel that we all are going to return in our lots. Okay, at the end of the day. So we know that through the Spirit and through the lineage and the scriptures themselves explain to you in pretty much detail for those that understand. All right, that this is the case. So we know that Melchizedek, and I'm going to get it. 1 Samuel 2:35, the faithful priest, and then you go into Hebrews 2:7. Okay, which pretty much tells you the same thing, that they that faithful priest. Okay, so I'm going to just read some, and then we're going to get some precepts. Okay, but I'm going to read down so that you can get a better understanding of what's going on. All right, Hebrews 7:1. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High power, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all first, being by interpretation king of righteousness. Okay, Melchizedek. All right, Malak Tazadok. Okay, the king of righteousness. And after that, also king of Salem, who is king of peace. All right, without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of the Most High. You see? All right, YAHAWASHI. He understood. He's seen that he knew the spirit of this man, okay, and understood who he was, and that's why he treated him as such. Okay. All right. So without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of our power, abideth a priest continually. Now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch, let me read that again. Now consider how great this man was, okay, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham, okay, Abraham, father of nations, gave the tenth of the spoils. And verily, they that are of the sons of Levi, who receive the office of the priesthood, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law, that is, their brethren, though they came out of the loins of Abraham. But he whose descent is not counted from them, all right? All these men came out of Abraham, but they were like, this man, let's keep reading. But he whose descent is not counted from them received tithes of Abraham, and blessed him that had the promises. And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better. And here men that die receive tithes, but there he receiveth them, of whom it is witnessed that he liveth. And as I may say so, and as I may so say, Levi also, who hath received tithes, paid tithes in Abraham. For he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek, or Melchizedek, the prince of righteousness, met him. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law. Therefore perfection, if therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek? Okay. What other priest, after the order of Melchizedek, what other priest was going to come? What other faithful priest was going to come? Yahawashai. Okay. Why was it necessary for Yahawashai to come if the Levitical priesthood was perfect? The laws, okay, the tithes, okay, the forgiveness of sins through the Levites, the priesthood, okay, doing the sacrifices. You see, there would have been no need after that. All right, there would have been no need for Yahawashai to come and change the priesthood, right? There would have been no need for him to come and open up a door back to the Heavenly Father. You see? All right, so let me read that. Let me go back a little bit. All right. Okay, the Levitical priesthood, for under it. All right, let me read from 11. I'm going to start there. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, okay, if that were perfect, like these brothers are still in the first covenant. They say they're still in the first covenant. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, if the first covenant was perfect, okay, for under it the people received the law. Okay, so you guys are still keeping the law. All right. What further need was there that another priest, Yahawashi, that came and he said, I have not done away with the laws, but I have fulfilled them. Okay. And through the blood of Amashiach Yahawashi, all right, we have forgiveness of sins if we come into that covenant, if we eat the Last Supper, if we drink the blood, if we eat the body. Okay. Not speaking literally, okay, but metaphorically and parabolically. You got to understand these are metaphors and parables, man. All right. So we drink the wine and we eat the bread. That's the body and the blood of Amashiach Yahawashi to come into the new covenant. All right. So what need would there be for Yahawashi to come if the Levitical priesthood, if we could keep the laws, okay, and be justified by the laws? What further need was there for another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek and not be called after the order of Aaron? You see? Melchizedek said, I'm going to open up the priesthood to Israel, to the men of Israel. All right? You see? So that's how Yahawashi was able to come and be a faithful priest, man. All right? Because he is from the tribe of Judah, not from the tribe of Levi. And we know that out of the tribe of Aaron, out of the order of Aaron, that you had to be from the tribe of Levi to be a priest. Okay? For he of whom these things are spoken pertaineth to another tribe, of which no man gave attendance at the altar. Okay? For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, see, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. All right? And it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek there ariseth another priest. All right? For he testifieth, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So the priesthood was opened up to the tribes, man. Okay? All right, and the reason why this happened, if the priesthood of the Levitical priesthood was perfect, it said after the perfection of the Levitical priesthood, if that would have been perfect, okay, then there would have been no need for Yahawashi to come. There would have been no need for Melchizedek to open up the priesthood to the tribes, man, to the men of the tribes. Okay? All right. For there is verily a disannulling of the commandment going before for the weakness and the unprofitableness thereof. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by the which he draw nigh unto Yahweh, and as much as not without an oath he was made a priest. Okay. All right. Let me grab Hebrews 2:7. All right. Hebrews 2:7. Thou madest him a little lower than the angels. Thou crownest him with glory and honor, and didst set him over the works of thy hands. All right. That's talking about Yahawashi. The Most High made him a little lower than the angels. Okay. Just like when you go into Jude 1:6, and it talks about the angels that left their first estate. That's brothers like that are teaching the true and correct doctrine of the new covenant. Okay, and then you have brothers that are teaching the curriculum. Those brothers are angels too. And I was thinking about this earlier when what is that? Lord have mercy. Salakia, let me grab it real quick. All right, well, let me put it this way. I was thinking about the pride of Esau Edom, okay, and how these brothers, okay, that are not willing to accept that we're in a new covenant. When we go into the seeds that are sown, okay, you have the good seed, and then you have the seed that the devil sowed. The devil is the deceiver, okay. So when you're talking, when you're talking about that, you know what I'm saying. We know that Satan is adverse to the Holy Scriptures. All right. So the devil is going to have minions here on this earth that are going to be those sheep's and those wolves in sheep's clothing. Okay, we're not talking about the fucking white man teaching the Bible. We're not talking about Pastor Porkchop. We're talking about brothers that are inside of the temple. Okay, coming against the true doctrine, which is the new covenant. All right, the whole everything, 144% truth. These men have the same pride that Esau has, man. Okay, because we keep on telling them that this is how it is. When you go into Matthew the 20th chapter, the first hour, the third, the sixth, the ninth, and so on and so on. These men that are coming in at the 11th hour that have this doctrine that are trying to tell you to correct yourself and your pride, okay, which is an attribute of the devil, okay, who sowed those seeds, man. All right. A true man of the Lord is not going to be so goddamn proud that he's not going to want to come into this understanding, man. Okay, we're not going to allow our pride to destroy us, man. We're not going to allow our pride and all this work that we have done, okay, and we know that this is scripture as far as the new covenant is concerned. We know when we talk about the Levitical priesthood being changed and how it was opened up to the other tribes, and there was another man that fit. Look, thou madest him, Yahweh has made him a little lower than the angels, and thou crownest him with glory and honor. Okay, so we know that Levitical priesthood had to be changed in order for Yahawashi to come, and there was a reason why it was changed, because it was necessary. Okay, so when he gave his life, before he gave his life and had that last supper, he said, eat this and drink this, but this is my body. That was the last supper. Okay, that's what's being served right now at the 11th hour. All right, you see. So a lot of brothers and I'm going back to that thing where, you know, that seed that was sown, we understand that pride, that attribute of the devil, that attribute of Satan, okay, it rests on men that are teaching the scriptures, man. Okay, we understand that, and we need to let other people know this, because if they don't understand why it's taking place, why it's happening, then there's going to be confusion, man. And this is you know, there ain't no confusion with brothers that are in the new covenant right now. And if you're hearing it, then the Most High is dealing with you. If you're hearing it and you believe it, then the Most High is dealing with you. But if you're going to continue to be proud and and say them niggas don't know what they talking about, then the Most High is not dealing with you. He's gonna put your ass to death. It's just simple as that. Okay. Yep. 1 Samuel 2:35. All right. And I will raise me up a faithful priest that shall do according to that which is in mine heart. What did Yahweh sent Yahawashai here? What? With what? With the new covenant to preach. Okay? That faithful priest. All right? If Melchizedek, we're going back to Hebrews, the 7th chapter. All right? If the Levitical priesthood would have been perfect, there would have been no reason to open up the priesthood to the other tribes, mainly the tribe of Judah, where it talks about Yahawashai. Okay, he sprang out of the tribe of Judah, that faithful priest, man. Okay, all right. So it was necessary for Yahawashai to be it was necessary for the priesthood to be opened up so that Yahawashai could do what he did. You know, and that's why we understand where you have to say that you are in the new covenant in order for the Holy Spirit to deal with you. Okay, you have to let that pride you gotta let that pride go, man. You know, like I said, that is an attribute of the devil, man, of Satan. You know, and that shit is going, and pride goeth before destruction. All right. That haughty spirit, man. You can't tell me shit. I've been here forever. Okay, so in Matthew the 20th chapter, the first hour, the third hour, the sixth hour, they've been here man, I've been out here longer than them brothers, working my ass off. You mean to tell me that I got the scriptures tell you that these men that came in at the 11th hour were made equal with these men that been in the field toiling, all right, in the heat, the snow, fighting, piss thrown on them, arrested. They've been out in that field for an hour and a half, and they're going to be made equal with us. See, that's a proud ass spirit, man. You can't tell Yahawashi who he should have mercy on, man. You can't tell Yahawashi, you can't tell Yahawashi who they can have mercy on, who they can put in a position, whose seat that, hey, you gotta get out that seat. That's theirs. That's Yahawashi telling you that, not us. Okay, I'm having mercy on this man because he's special. He's got a special mission, and I need you to back him up. Are you going to back him up? Are you going to be proud and boast against me? You're not boasting against him. You see? You know, you're boasting and being proud. They murmured. What did the scripture say? You murmured, are murmuring against Yahweh Bashim El Shai. You know? A lot of you brothers are in trouble, man. All right? And I will raise me up a faithful priest that shall do according to that which is in mine heart and in my mind, and I will build him a sure house, okay, the kingdom of heaven. All right. And he shall walk before mine anointed forever. Okay. All right. gonna get that. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, since I was talking about um yeah, I can grab that. Hebrews 12, and I'm gonna read 1 and 2. No, I'll read down to 3. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about, okay, these brothers that are teaching the new covenant are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. Let us lay aside every weight, okay, and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Yahawashai, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of our power. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, that she be wearied and faint in your minds. Okay. So, like I said, man, we the brothers of the new covenant that came in at the 11th hour that have been murmured against, we don't have to worry about these men's words, man. They're not speaking to us. We're just the messengers. Okay? We're the messengers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh sent his son Yahweh sent his son Yahweh Shai with the new covenant. Yahweh Shai sent picked 12 men, okay, the apostles, to teach the new covenant, to teach the parables, okay, all right, and then eventually give the Holy Spirit, all right, so that they can go out and teach these things. You see, they can go out and teach, and then tell other men, hey, go and teach other men. Go get you your own apostles, okay. Go get your own disciples and change them into apostles. Okay? Go get your gun, and then tell them to do the same thing, because we need the new covenant to be taught. All right? And then this, when the scriptures talk about stirring up your pure mind and remembrance, okay? Uh, uh, the curriculum, the first year, the third year, the sixth year, the ninth year, the curriculum had to be taught, okay, in order for the elect to be woken to. In order for there had to be certain men that had to be woke up at a certain time, so the curriculum had to be taught. Matthew the 20th chapter again. All right, so I've been in the field working all day, but these men that came in at the 11th hour, they're more important. They're just as important or more important than I am. Okay, but aren't we supposed to understand what the scriptures say when it comes to needing another man to teach me? Hey, do you understand what you readeth? No, but I need another man to teach me. Okay, so when that other man, when the curriculum is taught, okay, for the first hour, the third, the sixth, the ninth, when the curriculum's taught, okay, those men that came in at the 11th hour, they had to get that understanding in order for their pure minds to be stirred up, to have the remembrance, so that they can bring the new covenant to fruition, so that we can seal the elect and get the fuck out of here. Okay, it's simple stuff, brothers. This is simple stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, my title for this lesson was, who is on the Lord's side, man? You know, because we got a lot of men that are here in the new covenant that are murmuring against it. Well, actually, they haven't really been saying too much about it anymore. You know, they got some exciting news. Iran is bombing the hell out of Israel now. Since Israel bombed Iran, Iran's responding. Okay, so that right there is enough to keep them busy. You know, not focused on the new covenant. But when that dies down, what are they going to do? You know, what are they going to do when all of that is the same shit? Okay, Trump's talking about peace talks, talking about ceasefires. Okay, these Edomites ain't ready to pull the plug, man. Cause you see, this is another thing I was thinking about today. The Edomites, they understand one thing, and the scriptures tell you, let us see if his words be true. Okay, all right. So now we've been brothers that came in at the first hour, the third, the sixth, the ninth. They've been telling the whole fucking world. This is what's going to happen. Ezekiel 38 chapter. Okay. All right. That all of these things were going to start to take place. All right. Iran, Russia, all of these people are going to start saying the hell with America, the hell with the beast. Okay. And the scriptures are clear about Israel and Iran. All right. That wild man, when the dragons of Arabia are going to start to get pissed off about what Israel's doing and what America's doing. The world's been telling them that. And these Edomites, they know that. This message is going to the gates of the noble, and they know that what we're saying is true. You see? I didn't mean to get off point. You know what I'm saying? But this is why we have to continue. And let me read it again. Matter of fact, I'll go down to I'll start at 2 and I'll read 3. Okay. Looking unto YAHAWASH, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of our power. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest you be wearied and faint in your mind. So we can't worry about what Esau's doing. We got to pay attention to what he's doing. We can't worry about what these other brothers that have been teaching the curriculum and woke up the men that were supposed to teach the new covenant. That was their job. But then when the good man said, "Hey, you know, pay these men first," then the men that were in the field all day started to murmur against the good man. Like, yo, we've been here all damn day. How you gonna look out for them first? How are they accounted more worthy than we are if we've been here all day? That's not how the Most High works, man. Okay? His thoughts are not your thoughts, and his ways are not your ways, okay? It's just not that. That's just not how it goes, okay, brothers? Get Ecclesiasticus here. All right, Ecclesiasticus 2 and 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Okay? Who is the gold? We are. All right? And that adversity is not only going to be when all hell starts breaking loose. That adversity is taking place right now. When we got the majority, we have the majority of Israel, okay? Those that have come into this knowledge. I'm gonna just put it like that, okay? Those that have come into this knowledge, the majority of those people, what we call them the Jews. We say we have taught to the Jews, but now the Gentiles, which are the Israelites that don't know that they're Israelites, that are outside of the temple, are going to start to come to this truth. You know, like last on Saturday, I had a young lady come to my camp, and you know, you could see her eyes like welled up, man. She almost came to tears and she was explaining, herself a little bit. And I gave her a hug and told her I loved her at the end of the thing, the the communication that we have between each other. And there are a lot of people out here like this. Okay, there's a lot of people out here like this, that they see us and they hear us and they don't know how to move. So we have to direct them. That's our job. That's our position, man. We can't cast people away because we don't know who we're casting away. you know and there's brothers in these camps, man, that do these things. They scream and holler at people. They don't let them get their point across. you know you see, and you can't do that. Now if they're being ignorant, then just, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? We don't got time for that. you know we have to get the elect sealed, man. This is what we're out here for. We're not out here for no ignorant ass nigga shit, man. It's just not that kind of party. All right. First Peter 1:7. All right. That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of a Mashiach YAHAWASHI'S. That's right. The trial of your faith, okay, is much more precious than gold. Okay? Because we are the gold. We are the silver. All right? Being tried in the fire. Okay? All right? That furnace of adversity, man. All right? Then that adversity is what? These men that come against what we believe to be the truth. Okay? Not only people that are outside the temple, okay, the people that don't even have the curriculum. We're not even talking about them, man. That's where a majority of the so we call Gentiles, all right, which are Israelites that don't have any knowledge of the curriculum, man. They understand they Israelites, all right, but they ain't in the curriculum, and they damn sure ain't in the new covenant. Okay, so like I said, a majority of the people that are going to come into the new covenant are not people that are in the curriculum. Okay, so that's why when we of the new covenant, the brothers that are teaching the new covenant, man, we don't give a fuck. We don't give a damn what you Negroes are saying out there, man, inside or outside the temple. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people that listen that aren't in the truth, but they listen, they compare notes, and a lot of times it's like they're going to go with the majority because the majority usually rules, right? Them brothers been here for a long time, man, and these brothers they can't be right. These brothers can't be right because they just started. But that's not what the scriptures say. Okay? That's not what the scriptures say. So those people that are agreeing are what is that? Following out a multitude to do evil. Okay? So this is why we have to stand stiffly, man, for the new covenant. All right? Who is on the Lord's side, man? Huh? Who is on the Lord's side? We're gonna find out. I hate when this does this. We're gonna damn sure find out who's on the Lord's side, man. All right. Oh, wrong way, bro. First Corinthians 3:12. Yeah, let me see. Yeah. Now, if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver. Hold on, let me jump back up. I see something when I started to read. Yeah, let me go back up to 9. Matter of fact, yeah, that's gonna be First Corinthians 3 and 9. I'm gonna read down to 15. Yeah, I'll stop at 15. That's a good spot. First Corinthians 3 and 9. For we are laborers together with our power. Ye are Yahawah's husbandry. Ye are our power's building, according to the grace of our power Yahawah, which is given unto me as a wise master builder. I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. Okay, for other for other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Hamashiach Yahawashi. So if you're trying to build anything other than what Yahawashi has built, okay, when it comes to the new covenant, all right, when his father says that you have to believe on the testimony that I am giving of my son, and that testimony is the new covenant. Okay, I gave my son the new covenant to bring down here, and now my words testify of his deed, man. Okay, to lay his life down on the line, okay, for my chosen. Okay, that's what he did. So this is what his building is, the new covenant. All right, the curriculum into the new covenant, the teaching of the laws. All right, the history, the prophecies, and the new covenant. Okay, all four of these things have to be a part of your teaching. Okay, or you're not teaching the correct doctrine, man. It's just you're going. You're not building, okay, on that foundation, that testimony of a Mashiach. I went back um, and spoke about the order of Melchizedek. That is a part of the testimony that the Most High has given of His Son. All right, if you can receive that, you understand. Going back to Adam, testimony of Yahweh Shai. All right, up into this present day, the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Do you believe the whole testimony of the Mashiach Yahweh Shai? Because you have to believe those four things. Okay. You have to believe the history, the laws, the prophecies, and the new covenant. You have to have all four. Okay? Or you're not building. All right? Now, if any man build upon the foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest. All right? So our works in teaching the new covenant and standing stiffly is going to be made manifest. All right? This is where the people are when the people start trying to find a way out of the hell that is coming, okay, when things start to get real dark. We're already in a dark ass place right now, but when they get extremely dark here in America, what's going to happen is a large multitude of people are going to be seeking forgiveness from the Most High. And the way that they're going to be seeking it is they're going to be looking for brothers that are teaching the new covenant, because they're the only ones that are going to be, look, every man's work shall be made manifest. For the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. I didn't even have to explain it. It was right there. Okay, I'm going to read that again. All right, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it. Okay, what day? The days that we're coming into, man. This shit is getting ready to get bad out here. You know, like that young lady walked up to me with her eyes welled up, man. You know, looking for forgiveness, looking for a way, out of what is taking place right now. You know. talking about how she's trying to get, my flesh, and I don't want to do, certain things, and I'm this, I don't know what's going on, and you see, this is what's going to happen, man, on a large scale, you know, and this is how our work is going to be manifest, man. All right. Every man's work shall be manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. All right. You see, if any man's work abide, if any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. Okay, so you have to build on what? On the understanding of the entire doctrine, of the entirety of the Holy Scriptures, man. The testimony of Hamashiach Yahawah. Okay, you got to believe the whole thing, man. You know, you can't just teach. You can't just teach the laws, history, and prophecy. Okay, and say you believe the testimony of Hamashiach Yahawah. And if you're not teaching the new covenant, you can't say that, man. Okay? All right? If any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. All right? You see? All right, Ezekiel 33 and 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Okay? We're not just talking about those that didn't believe. We're talking about those that are in the temple, man. Those that are in the curriculum. Those that are only teaching the history, the law, and the prophecies. Okay, they're gonna know that a prophet had been among them. We've been among brothers that were in these camps. Okay, all right, they're gonna be you see, they're gonna be astounded, man. Like, I've been in this thing for this long, and this brother only been in here this long, but he's been the prophet the whole time. You know, but you did your job. You did your job. You taught the curriculum, but you denied the new covenant. You didn't teach the new covenant. Okay, those that stood stiffly for the name, and I keep telling you, the character. All right, that doesn't just go. That just doesn't mean you know the name Yahawah. You got niggas out there that are on the streets that know that name. Okay, that can say it. But we're talking about his character. We're talking about his testimony. You see, we're talking about the history. We're talking about the law. We're talking about prophecy, and we're talking about the new covenant. There's a lot missing in the curriculum if you're not teaching the new covenant, because the new covenant begins from the beginning, man. And it goes to the end. All right. There's scriptures throughout the entire script. There's scriptures throughout the entire book. Okay, that's the testimony. You see, from the time of Adam until the time of John the Revelator, the testimony of Hamashiach Yahawah. All right. And how the new covenant was going to come into play, and it was going to be necessary. I read that in Hebrews, the 7th chapter, about the order of Melchizedek. All right. And how if the priesthood was going to be perfect, there would be no need for him to come. All right. That's the testimony. And if you're not reading, if you're not bringing all that out, then you're not uh, uh, you don't believe the testimony of Hamashiach Yahawashai. Okay. All right. So Amos 3, and then you're gonna know a prophet was among you, right? All right. Amos 3 and 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. You see? He's revealing his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So we understand that we not only have to understand the curriculum, but we have to understand Salaki. We have to understand the new covenant. What the fuck? Salaki, y'all. We have to understand that, man. That's a part of the testimony. That's a part of us standing stiffly for the name of Hamashiach Yahushua. All right. That's important. That's us being tried in the furnace of adversity. Okay. That's a part of that. We're standing stiffly for the entire testimony of Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay, that his father had. All right, not just the curriculum, but the new covenant. It's important that that's taught, man. But brothers are denying. They're actually denying it. Not only not teaching it, and if they are, they're teaching it improperly. Okay, they're teaching it wrong. You see? Oh, shit. They're teaching it wrong. For one, see, oh my god, this fucking thing, these tablets, man, I hate that shit. Now I can't even get out of my joint. Oh, there we go, Salakia. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on here. Alright, Salakia, y'all, my tablet's fucking up on me. I really didn't want that shit. Alright, let me turn it off. Salakia, y'all, give me a hot minute. Alright. So I had to turn it. I had to restart it, man, because this fucking thing. I don't know why it reduces itself on its own. Well, like I said, man, in Amos, the 3rd chapter, the Lord was going to give his secrets to his servants, the prophets, man, and that's why Matthew, the 20th chapter, when it talks about the man that came in at the 11th hour, okay. Oh my God, are you serious? Okay, I think I got it. Nope. Alright, this is not working. This thing is really not fucking working for me right now. I'm gonna have to use my phone, y'all. I hate using my phone. Yeah, let me use my phone, y'all. I'm gonna grab my phone, man, because this fucking thing. I'm trying to get this done, man. I just got off work. Back's fucking hurting. Let me grab Luke 9 and 62. Alright. Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hands to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. Okay? Um, All right. So basically, there's a lot of men that have fallen out um, for their own obvious reasons, but the Most High actually takes the spirit off of a lot of men. And I wouldn't be surprised, man, to see a lot of people that have denied the new covenant start to wither, man. But you can see in certain camps, and I can't even listen to a lot of brothers I used to listen to, man, because it's almost like robotic. You know what I'm saying? Okay, there's no it's always it's I can't say bland, but it's basically it's you see one person do a video on an article, and then you see 15, 20 other people doing the same shit. And when you're talking about a body has different functions. Okay, and in that body, those functions uh, uh, help the whole body to it helps the whole body to function. Okay, one finger, you have 5 fingers. One hand, you have a forearm. Now you got a hand and a forearm. You got a hand and your bicep. You got a hand, fingers, hand, forearm, shoulder. Now you gotta. This is a function. This is going to be one function. But when you start talking about people people having the same function, it's like you got uh, uh, more fingers on that hand than you fucking need. You see what I'm saying? So this is the thing about the new covenant. I don't put out the same lessons as Com. I don't put out the same lessons as Two Witnesses. I don't put out the same lessons as Yahawah the Maccabees. You know what I mean? I'm an individual and I have a function. My function is to do certain things. My function is to present information in a different way. You see what I'm saying? This is why. This is the reason why. This is how the new covenant is really being taught. Okay, we're given different understandings and different views on the same information. Okay, and there's no private interpretation. We just have a different way of bringing these things out. All right. When you start looking at all these other camps, what you start seeing is people bringing out the same articles. Okay, and that's not how a body is supposed to function. It's just not supposed to work like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. And I don't want to get too far off in my topic, man. Let me continue, man. Because any man that takes his hands off the plow is not fit uh, for the kingdom. Okay. So if you're not teaching, the new covenant, and that is a part of the testimony of Hamashiach Yahawashi, then you're not fit for the kingdom of heaven. Okay, it's just simple as that. Jeremiah 1:5. Okay, my 1:5. All right, and this going into what I'm getting ready to read. I was talking about this earlier. All right, I was talking about how well, he gives his secrets to his servants, the prophets. We know that our pure minds had to be stirred up, and this is what I was going into. And when I started talking about, uh, uh, Salakia. Give me a moment. How the curriculum, okay, how those that came in at the first hour, the third hour, the 6th hour, the 9th hour, that curriculum had to be taught because there had to be men that had to wake up in certain periods, certain segments of those times. The mainly it would have been around the 6th and 9th hours that men started hearing about the new covenant and started looking more into it. Okay, so they had to have their pure mind stirred up. Okay, and the reason being was because when we all went to the spirit world in another time, and we came back. That's how our minds had to be. That's how our minds had to be awakened to remember the understanding of all these things. All right. So there were certain men that were going to be during the time of the curriculum being taught. Okay. Matthew the 20th chapter, first hour, third hour, sixth hour, ninth hour. Those men had to come in at certain points in that segment of time, so that at the 11th hour, okay, all right, that they could spring forth, all right, and teach the new covenant, all right, without being worried about a damn thing, because the brothers that are out there teaching right now are not really considering all the shit that's being talked about. We don't even focus on that kind of stuff, man. Okay, because there's a reason for that, and I ain't going to get all into it, but I'm going to read Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Okay, the men that are coming in, that have come in at the 11th hour, the Lord said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Okay, this is why these men of the 11th hour, this is why these men that are teaching the new covenant are so important. That's why the good man said, pay them first. Give them their reward first. Okay, there's a reason for that. All right, and this is the reason, man. Before I formed in the belly, I knew thee. Before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Okay, ordained a prophet before you were formed in the womb. This is why when our minds were stirred up, okay, our minds were stirred up by hearing what? The curriculum. All right, so the curriculum was extremely important. Okay, but when these men came in, they should have understood, okay, the reason why these men are doing what they're doing. They're teaching the entire testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. Okay, they're teaching the laws, they're teaching history, they're teaching the prophecies, and they're teaching the new covenant. Okay, those men that are still teaching the curriculum are not teaching the new covenant. If they are destroying it. And they're leading people away from it, like it's bugged out. It's crazy. You're a demon if you're teaching that. You got demons. Okay, this is why these men that have stood stiffly for the name of Mashiach Yahushua. The curriculum. Okay, that's part of it. That's part of the testimony. All right, but the new covenant. All right, like I said, that's standing stiffly for the name of Mashiach Yahushua. All right, you guys are not doing that, man. And the Most High is going to see you for that shit. All right? All right? Let me go back. 2 Timothy 1:3. I thank my power, whom I serve from my forefathers with pure conscience, that without ceasing I have remembrance of thee in my prayers night and day. Okay? I'm going to remember, okay, these things, man. In my prayers, man. Remember that the Most High woke me up. Remember that the Most High allowed me to understand the new covenant. Okay? You see? Remember that coming in at the 11th hour didn't make me any less than those that came in at the first, or the second, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth. Okay? That's why I hate using my phone. All right? All right? Matthew 7 and 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Like I just got done saying, there's a lot of brothers that are still teaching just the curriculum. Okay? There and you're not going to be able to teach the curriculum and get people saved, man. What are you going to tell them? Just call on the name of YAHAWASH? You know? You got to tell them that there was a covenant made that they can enter into before all hell starts breaking loose. Okay? You know, I understand the scriptures say, wait upon me until I rise up to the prey. But that's us not going out there and trying to take Esau down ourselves, man. Okay, so what protection do we have to have? We have to have the protection of the Dawah, the Holy Spirit. Okay, that mark of exemption. And how do you get that? You can only get it by saying that you're in the new covenant, because you don't have liberty in the laws. You only have liberty in the blood of Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay, the blood, the water, and the spirit. You can only get in the liberty and that mark of exemption through coming into the new covenant. You can't get it from the curriculum. You're not going to get the mark of exemption or the Torah from the curriculum, man. You have to get it from the new covenant. All right? Period. There's no getting around that, brothers. All right? Oops. All right? Enter ye in at the straight gate, y'all. 1 Peter 2 and 5. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to our power by Hamashiach Yahushua. What is the acceptable sacrifice? What was Yahushua's acceptable sacrifice? To go and die on the cross, okay, and spill his blood in that water, okay, to give forgiveness of sins, man, and repentance to the children of Israel. So you have to repent and come into the new covenant to receive, okay, okay. You also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house. This is the spiritual house that you have to build up, man. Okay. Well, I read that earlier about building on what? The foundation of Hamashiach Yahushua. And if you're not teaching the new covenant, then you're not building on the foundation of Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay? All right? And holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices. All right? Standing stiffly for the name of Hamashiach, man. Making our bodies living sacrifices on an altar when we're downtown where we live at. Okay? And by standing stiffly and saying that we are in the new covenant, all right, and standing stiffly for Hamashiach Yahawash's testimony, okay, period. I don't get it. I don't understand why you brothers don't get that, man. All right. Oops. Those fat ass fingers and shit. Nope, I don't want to do that. Let me grab this last one here, y'all. That's it. Yep. All right. Matthew 25 and 24. No, 21. Matthew 25 and 21. Salakia. All right, Lord. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Okay, we have been faithful under a few things, man. Okay, we've been faithful to the Lord. Okay, we have been faithful with a few things, man. The teaching of the new covenant. All right, we have been faithful in a few things. The teaching of the curriculum, the history. Okay, the laws, the prophecies, and the new covenant. These few things we have been faithful teaching. Okay, so the Lord said, since you've done that, I'm going to make you ruler over many things. Okay, so you brothers keep your heads up, man. You know, things are getting ready to change. Things are definitely getting ready to change for brothers that are teaching the new covenant, man. There ain't no getting around it. All right, what I read it earlier. All right, that if you're building on a sound foundation, you know, you're going to be standing at the end, man. All right, you're building on a foundation of a Mashiach YAHAWASHI, you're going to be standing, and there ain't no getting around it. Okay, so with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Again, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Israel that rule well, and shalom to the Akim, Akwathim, and the speckled bird listening and learning. Shalom.